Hello guys, Jose Rodriguez here. In our previous video, we were able to install, collect, and access Sysmon logs using Wazuh. We got a couple of comments on how can we start filtering Sysmon logs, and because I guess depending on the system, the applications that you're running on your device, Sysmon can be a very noisy tool, okay, which means a lot of logs are being generated. Okay, so let's start by getting an idea of the amount of Sysmon logs that are being collected by Wazuh. Okay, so let's go to the menu, then let's go to explore and then to visualize. Okay, let's create a new visualization. We just need a horizontal bar, and the source is going to be Wazuh archives. Okay. So what we can do is add a filter, okay, and we just need data win system channel, okay, and we are going to filter just Sysmon logs, okay. Click on save, and we are going to add a bucket here. We're going to split the series, the type of aggregation, let's just use terms, okay. And the field that we are going to use is data win system, in this case event ID, okay. And we just want the top 5, or if you want you can increase this. Let me show me the top 10. And if we go to panel settings here, you can also show the values for each bar on the chart. Okay, so let's click on update. Here it is. So in the last 24 hours, okay, you can see, for example, more than 158,000 Sysmon event log number 12, and then you have number 10, and so on. Okay, if you don't remember the meaning of each number, you can go to the sysinternal website, and you can see all the different logs. Okay, so Sysmon 12, which is the it's at the top of the bar chart, is the registry event that documents or provides you context of creation and deletion of registry objects like keys, values, etc. Okay, so that's a lot in just one day. Okay, can you imagine monitoring these for weeks or for months? Depending on your use case, it's going to be very difficult, right? Something that caught my attention was, for example, something that we can use as an example for this video is Sysmon event 26. Okay, so Sysmon event 26 is file delete detected. Okay, so the description says this event is generated when a file was deleted. Okay, so let's go and add a filter here. Okay, so now we want data win system event ID, and let's filter only event 26. Okay, and what we are going to do is we are going to go to data, and what we can do is modify the bucket here. So instead of the event ID, we can do, for example, let's do this. So instead of system data, okay, I don't know why it's not working here. Okay, let's delete everything there. So we can do is data win, instead of system data, we are going to use the event data context, and we can use the target file name. Okay, and then click on update. And here you can see that there is, okay, this is interesting. There are a lot of events in just for one day, more than 17,000 events for one specific file that is being deleted, which is the wazuh-agent.state file. Okay, and then the second one is the wazuh-logcollector.state file. Okay, so these state files, I guess, are the files that are constantly updated with the state of the Wazuh application. Okay, so apparently every time is updated. Okay, I mean, it's not necessary. It doesn't necessarily mean that the file is being deleted, but it's, whenever you're updating a file, sometimes some files are marked to be deleted, and then they modify it, and then you just keep tracking all the different modifications and states of this type of content. Okay, so this is going to be our use case. I don't know. Okay, let's imagine that this type of activity, okay, the update of these state files, let's imagine that this type of activity is not required for our analysis. Okay, so how can we filter out this specific type of event? So I don't want to collect these logs on Wazuh. Okay, and to do that, let me show you here. I have a diagram for you guys here. Okay, so we have our device here. We installed Sysmon, okay, which is collecting all these devices. Locally in this Windows device, we have the osec.conf file, okay, that contains all the local configurations of our agent. And in our Wazuh server here, we have another file, the agent.conf file, okay, which is used when you're trying to do a centralized configuration, okay. And if you remember from our previous video, this is the option that we are using right now, okay. Since I have a lot of Windows devices, I'm using the centralized configuration option. So I modify this file, okay, and the configuration is distributed to all my Windows devices, okay. Okay, cool. So that's just to give you a little bit of context of the tool and how I implemented this in my previous video. Okay, so now, so the goal of this video is how can we start filtering, the logs that are being generated and collected by Wazuh. Okay, so I will show you in this video the first way, which is, okay, we are not going to modify the configuration in Wazuh. We are going to modify the configuration file that we use to install Sysmon. Okay, so we only generate a specific logs, or we can also exclude some events from being generated. Okay. The second way, and this will be the goal for our next video, is how can we modify the configuration file, okay? How can we modify the Wazuh configuration so we only, even if the event log is being generated by Sysmon, okay? So Wazuh only collects specific logs, okay? And so that will be here. Why here? Why on my Wazuh server? Because I'm using the centralized configuration option, okay? If you are not using a centralized configuration option, you will need to modify the configuration locally, okay, for each of your devices. But in my case, I'm going to use the second option, okay? Nice. So let's go and check the configuration file that we use, okay, to install Sysmon on my Windows device. So let's go to my Windows device here, okay? Let me show you first. Here, if you go to the sysinternals website, you can see that when I installed Sysmon, I use the -i option here, okay, and I use a configuration file, okay. The configuration file that I use as a reference was the configuration file from the Blacksmith project, from the Open Thread Research Forge organization. Okay, and this is the XML file that I use to install Sysmon. Okay, so here in this configuration, you can see a section that is called event filtering. Okay, and under this section in the XML file, I was adding filters for different type of events. Okay, so this, for example, this rule here is for process create events. Okay, how do you know the name of the type of event? If you go to the Sysmon, to the Sys internal website, we are using these names here. Let me see really quick. Okay, so I think it's this one, process creation. So it's here, process create. Okay, well, I thought it was the same. Apparently not. But here is a reference of the name of the event that is being generated. Okay, I don't see if there is a. Let me see really quick here. Now, in some cases, the name matches the name used on the filter, but apparently for process creation, not. But for example, if we take a look at event 26 here, so is file delete detected. So I think this is the name that you can use on the filter. Let's see. We scroll down. We can see. Yeah, here, file delete detected. Okay. And as you can see, for this rule, for this filter, we are using an exclusion condition. Okay, so we are not generating, okay, event logs with ID 26, okay, if the image, okay, of the process starts with or begins with this specific path. Okay, so any file that is being deleted or marked to be deleted under this directory, okay, is not going to be logged. Okay, so we are not going to get any event ID 26. So you can add more conditions, for example, here, okay, to filter out those of this specific file. In this case, we're talking about the Wazuh-agent.state, and also the other one, which is the log collector.state file. Okay, because in our use case, these files are not required because we are not interested on monitoring the Wazuh service or the Wazuh manager itself. We are just interested on the behavior that is happening in our device. Okay, so we can add conditions to exclude these two files. Okay, and for reference, you can use, for example, the path. So we can add to the exclusion condition the C program files OSEC-agent directory. Okay, so any file that is under that directory, in this case, that directory contains the state files. Whenever you modify or delete these files, you will not get any type of event. Or you can be very specific and go all the way to the name of the file. Okay, nice. So let's do that. Okay, let's try to add a condition to exclude that specific file. Okay, so let's go to our Windows device. It's here. Okay, and first let me show you where can you find these state files. Okay, so if you go to C here, if you go to program files x86, you have OSEC-agent here, and here are the two state files. Okay, so right now it says 1255, 1254. You'll see all of a sudden it just changed. So apparently after a certain time of time, it could be seconds or minutes, these two files are updated. That's how the Wazuh service, the Wazuh manager, gets information about what is the state of the different agents that are deploying in your whole environment. See, this one was just updated 12:56. Okay, so again, for our use case, this activity is not, we are not interested in this activity, so we don't need to generate these logs. Maybe for other use cases, they may be necessary, but right now we are not interested on those deletions. Okay, so what we can do is we are going to open. If I'm not mistaken, in my previous video, what I did is I downloaded all my files under this folder. Yeah, here. So here are the installation files, the executables to install Sysmon, and here's the configuration file. So this is what I use to install Sysmon. Okay, so let's open this using Notepad. So this is basically the same file that we downloaded from the GitHub repo. Okay, so what we are going to do, this file already contains some filters. If I'm not mistaken, most of them are just to exclude data already. So these are exclusions for process creation events, Sysmon event 1. And as you can see, for example, we are not generating process creation if the image is Sysmon or Splunk or these other applications. It could be like an exact match, or it could be, for example, you have also this one, contains. Okay, if the name of the image contains the name Splunk, don't generate any type of process creation event. What else? Yeah, you have also the condition can be begin with or end with. Okay, you can also use the command line. Okay, so these are the different data fields of an event: image, command line. That now you may be asking yourself, okay, but what are other fields that I can use? How do I know the different fields that are provided by a Sysmon log? Well, what you can do is you can open the event viewer application as an administrator. Let's put the password, and you can go to applications and services. Then you go to Microsoft, Windows. If you scroll down a little bit, Sysmon here. And then you open this one and you go to operational. And here are the different logs that are being generated right now. Okay. So for example, if you want to add more exclusion conditions here, okay, you need the name of the field. In this case, we are using image and command line. But if you go here and you click on filter current log, and we want event ID 1, hit enter. Here are all the different event logs that are being created for process creation events. Okay, so what you can do is just make double click on one of them, and you have two different views: the general view like this, or you also have the details tab, and you have the friendly view of the context provided by this event, or you can also see the XML view. Okay, and this is I would like to start here to help you understand. Remember when we were executing queries or filtering our data in Wazuh? Remember that we were using data.win.system for in some cases, or .event data in other cases. So this is the difference between system and event data. Whenever you collect an event, a Sysmon log, you have system data, which is here. So you have the channel, for example, here. You have the event ID that we were using on our queries. So that's what, whenever you need to use this data, that's when you use data.win.system and then dot and the name of the parameter here. But if you need data from the other section, okay, So I guess this system data is more about, the user, the device, or the application that you're using, and data that give you context about the specific action. Okay, what you can monitor with Sysmon is when you get to the event data section here. Okay, so whenever you need to filter your data using these fields, you can use data.win.eventData. And then the name of the field. For example, you have rule name, UTC time, process GUID, process ID, image. Okay, so these are the names that we are using right now in our configuration file. Image is this one. See, you need the command line. Oops, my bad. Where is the window? Here. The command line is here. Okay, but if you need if you need to filter your data based on a different field, these are all the fields that are available for Sysmon Event 1. So you can use the current directory, the log on GUID, the description, the product of the file, for the image, for the process, and etc. Okay, so that's just to give you a little bit of context of how can you, what are the field names that you can use for your exclusion or inclusion conditions. Okay, so for our use case, we're interested on Sysmon event 26, right? So let's scroll down. Let's go to 26. So right now is this one here. Okay, so this is for file delete detected. Okay, and we already have an exclusion condition here. Okay, and if we go to our, let me change the order here so we can see this. Okay, so if we go to Wazuh again, okay, so what we can do is the file that we are trying to exclude from this rule is wazuh.agent.state. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to our Windows device, and we already have the exclusion condition here, so you just need to add a new, okay, here, and it's not the image, okay, because if you remember, the field that we're using is the target file name. Okay, so this field is from, let me show you here really quick. Let's filter, instead of 1, let's filter 26. Okay, we can see a lot of events 26. So let's open one. Yeah, so here's one example. Okay, so we don't want files, we know that this file is being constantly updated, and apparently as a result, we have a lot of file deletion events. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we can use the entire name if you want, or like I said, you can use a condition that says begin with, and you can just use the directory. Okay, so you have two options there. Okay, so let's copy this. And then, so the file name is target file name. So let's copy this. Oh, you know what? Let's go to the XML. It's gonna probably easy. So let's copy this. Okay, let's go here, and 26. Where's 26 here? So it's not image. Okay, it's target file name, and the condition is, in this case, I want the exact match. Okay, so you can use is, and then the value here. Okay, so let's go here, and the file is this one. Okay, copy. Where is it? Oh, here. So this is not the name. Let me delete this. This is the name, okay? And it's not image anymore, it's target file name. So let's copy this. Oh. Here, oh, I miss an E. Okay, and that's it. So we just added another condition for our for this rule, okay? Exclude. So basically is if this file, okay, is deleted or marked to delete, I guess it depends on the configuration of Sysmon, do not generate, right? We are excluding this event from being generated, okay? So let's save our changes here, save, and what we need to do is we need to update the Sysmon configuration file, okay? So let me show you here really quick. So it was just updated, okay, the XML file. So now what we need to do is we need to open a command prompt window, okay, run this as an administrator, and we're going to move to the download folder, users, I think it's pedro.gustavo, it's downloads. What did I miss? Oh, it's backslash. Okay, Pedro Gustavo downloads. Okay, and oh, I think we have the folder Sysmon, right? Let me clear the screen here. So we do dir. Yeah, so here's the XML file that was just updated. Okay, and if we go to the Sysmon website, here, whenever you are trying to update, if you want to reconfigure an active Sysmon installation, we just need to do sysmon-c and then the path to the configuration file. Okay, so that's what we are going to do. And to show you the impact of this change, let me go to explore, discover. Okay, we are going to change the source. We want archives, and I'm going to add a filter here. Okay, so channel Sysmon. So you can see, let me put this, let me modify this the last 15 minutes maybe. Okay, so you can see every bar is for every 30 seconds maybe. Yeah, 30 seconds. Okay, so you can see this event is being event 26 file deletion is being generated a lot. Okay, so what we are going to do is let's go back to Sysmon, and what we are going to do now is run Sysmon, which is the executable -c, okay, and then the path to the Sysmon XML file, okay, which is this one. We hit enter. Okay, so we just updated the configuration file for Sysmon, and then if we go back, okay, let's refresh this. Okay, let's just give it some time so we can see the difference. You can see in every, so over time the bar is always, it has at least one element, right? But let's see, right now is updating. Look, so in the last 30 seconds there was not 26 event. Okay, so let's wait for maybe a minute. Okay, So again, it's not being generated. Okay. So that was interesting. Okay. An event, there were 2 events. Let's see what are these 2 events. Let's see. Where is the target file name? Oh, here. I think it's a different one now. This one. See, now the log collector is the one being generated, but you don't see the other. There was a, what was the file that we modified? You don't see there was a -agent state file anymore. Okay, so it's just the collector, this other file, then the file status JSON. What else? This other file, this one, but you don't see. Okay, so we are not generating the file. Okay, therefore Wazuh is not collecting that file because it was excluded. Okay, now let's try to do the opposite. Okay, because as you can see, okay, we are not generating event logs for the deletion of this file, but I mean deletion / update of the file. But what if you just want to collect that specific file? Okay, let's say now the scenario is we are interested on this specific file being deleted. Okay, so I don't want to see anything else. I just want to see this specific log or the activity around this specific log. Okay, in this case, when I say activity, I'm talking about the deletion / update of the file. Okay, so what we can do is we can go back to our file, and what we are going to do is let's copy the whole section. Okay, so you can exclude, or you can also, let's put it here since the beginning. I'm going to remove this from the exclude rule section. Okay, and now we are going to add the include. Okay, and I'm going to remove these 2. So now what I'm telling to Sysmon is I don't want you to consider this. Okay, and also I just want this. I just want the activity around this specific file. Okay, so in other words is do not collect anything else, just this. Okay, and of course you can add more conditions, right? Like include, for example, all the events regarding deletion events that involve the following image, right? Something like that. So okay, so you can see now I just added a new section, but now the onMatch parameter is set to include. Okay, so let's see what happens with this. So let's save. And then let's go to here again. And let's run the same command. So you can just run Sysmon again, dash, so the path to the Sysmon executable, space, dash C, space, and the path to the configuration file. Okay, enter again. The configuration was updated. So now let's go back to Wazuh. Okay, so let's select again. Give me the last 15 minutes. Okay, so you see how when we executed the change, right, automatically the height of the bars started to reduce. In some cases we didn't get any events, but now that we are collecting event logs, okay, so let's wait for another bar to be generated, because maybe let's put the last, instead of 15 you can also set this to 5. and click on update. So you see, you were just getting some events, but not as frequent as before. But now that we made the change again, now the only thing you can see. Okay, so let's put this is probably. Let's change it to 1 minute. Update. So the only events that you see now are file deletions for the Wazuh agent. Oh, sorry, no, this is not target file here. The state file. Look at this. Only that one. So that's another. So there are basically two ways to reduce the volume of Sysmon logs. You either exclude them, okay, using the unmatched exclude value or parameter here, or you can, add another section under within the rule for, and you need to use the unmatched equals include value. Okay, so those are the two conditions that you can use just by modifying the Sysmon configuration file. Okay, so we didn't change anything on Wazuh. Okay, and remember that you need to update the configuration for Sysmon using the -c parameter. Okay, and that's it. So that was really nice. Okay, now let me delete this so we can, for our next video, I'll show you how can you do the same, but modifying. Wait, let me delete this. Okay, so let me save this first before I save, and then we go here. Did I delete it correctly? Yes. Okay, so let's run this command again. Okay, so now we go back. We should start seeing more events being collected, not only, yeah, see? So now you have other files here. Awesome. Okay, so this is how you can modify. We just work this option here. Okay, you can either include or exclude event logs by modifying the Sysmon configuration file. Okay, now in our next video, I'll show you how can you do the same, but modifying the Wazuh configuration file here. Okay, I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.